Hello, welcome to this video about this new moon in Gemini, which is going to be after tomorrow on the 15th of June at 24 degree of Gemini. As you can see, the moon is now 24 and it's conjunct the sun at 24 degrees. And Gemini, in Gemini, there are multiple personalities. Gemini has multiple sides to a story, two opposites which are reflections of the same thing. Gemini is about duality, like twins, like the dark and the light, like black and white, good and bad, a choice between two options. Or it's like juggling the union of two opposites. So Gemini has two sides. And Gemini is also about communication. It's about our siblings, transport, lot of data, information exchange, and it can also be about sales, selling. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the messenger, which now Mercury, the ruler of this new moon, is in Cancer. As you can see, at 18 degrees of Cancer. And Mercury is widely conjunct with Jupiter. However, Mercury will go retrograde just before conjunction with Jupiter. So it looks like they are going to it looks like they are going to unite, but Mercury is going to go backwards. So that won't happen. And I think I will speak about this into another video because this conjunction will happen sometime in August, when after Mercury is going to go down retrograde, and then it will come back again, and then it will meet with Jupiter in Leo, because Jupiter is about to go in Leo. For now, at this new moon, at this moment in time, Mercury is in Cancer. So Mercury in Cancer, it's about communicating our emotion. It's about a message that brings, at this new moon, we could get a message that brings us emotional security. Because Cancer, it's about emotions, but emotional security. Inner security. So, yeah, still we are feeling this conjunction, although it's wide between Mercury and Jupiter. 8 degrees, isn't it? It's still a conjunction in Cancer. They are in the same sign anyhow. So that means that there is now, not only Gemini, is a lot of information, a lot of data that we have to process. And now with Jupiter, it's amplifying. So it's a lot of communication at this time. So it's our logic, Mercury, and then our intuition, Jupiter, which are coming together. Our fact and intuitive knowing are in accord, in harmony with each other. And with our action, because another aspect of this new moon is that Mercury is sextiling with Mars. Mars is at 20 degrees of Taurus, isn't it? So it's applying this sextile to Mars, right? It's about to become exact. Yes. So, yeah, Mercury in Cancer, it's about communicating how we are feeling. It's about expressing our feeling. And it's also about thinking about what makes us feel internally secure. It's about communicating our emotions. And like I said, because Mercury is approaching toward Jupiter, Jupiter is also to do about truth. So we want to express our true emotions. Uh, yeah, because also Uranus is involved in this new moon because Uranus is in Gemini, and Uranus, because it's anything in Gemini, is like this new moon and Uranus, it's all ruled by Mercury. Okay, and Uranus is going to, make us have some sudden realization, some sudden knowing, and that can change our mindset, that can change the direction in which we are heading because of this information, because of this realization about what makes us feel secure, isn't it? So, yeah, this is about a new beginning to do with how we truly feel. And this is what influences our mind right now. We are communicating with emotional intelligence rather than with logic. Because when Mercury is in Cancer, is not the sign of what we emotionally feel, isn't it, is driving our decisions in Cancer. So we are communicating how we are feeling. So our feeling are taking over our logic. But nonetheless, it's still as important because sometimes even without the logic, we just know into our gut feeling, isn't it? We can't explain in words, but we just know in our instinct, because Cancer is very intuitive. Okay, so overall, this new moon is a good new moon. It's not something to be scared of. Because there is no bad aspect at this new moon, and Mercury, who is the ruler of this new moon, is not making any bad aspect. It was squaring with Saturn, but as far as I'm concerned, the aspect uh, is not separating. So it's behind us. This Mercury square Saturn is normally of now. Sorry, I just have to charge my laptop. So yeah, so I'm saying that, yeah, there's no bad aspect, and also there is something beneficial, which is that there is a reception between Mercury and this new moon, because Mercury is in Cancer, the sign of the moon, and the moon is in Gemini, the sign of Mercury. So that's called a mutual reception when two planets are in each other's sign. And this means that it's nearly as powerful as the actual aspect, isn't it? In any case, Mercury is supporting this new moon in Gemini. So this is good. No, there's no bad aspect. There is a positive aspect with the sextile to Mars, and Mercury is supporting this new moon, and there is this mutual reception. So it's a good new moon. And again, isn't it? Surely, it would depend. This is in general the energy for that's in the sky, but it depends about in your birth chart. So that's why it's always good to know your birth chart. Isn't it? If you don't know your birth chart, you can contact me via the links below this description and get your birth chart from my website as well. Uh, because yeah, it depends, isn't it, if you have some squares or certain opposition from certain planets, but isn't it? Overall, it's a positive energy. yes, so that means that the new moon and Mercury, the moon and Mercury, because they are in each other's signs, they are communicating with each other. They are both supporting each other. So this is a new beginning. This is a restart. This is a reset in the Gemini house of your chart. This means that your mind and your emotion are in mutual harmony. And there is an opportunity that we can easily create if we take action to start something new. And that might involve some travel, some short distance travel. And also it could be a new beginning in the way we communicate and with what surrounds us in our immediate environment. And this is going to involve some change because Gemini is a mutable sign. Mercury is fast. So we have many options now. You know, it can be overwhelming, the new moon in Gemini. Because, yeah, with Gemini, with Mercury, there is a lot of information to process. You know, and like I said, even more now at this new moon because of the Jupiter is next to Mercury, and then we have Uranus in Gemini also, which is square the node. Uranus is square the north node and the south node. All right, so I'm going to get to this. This is some emotional information that we have to process because Mercury is with Jupiter, which expands our mind. And this new moon is in Gemini, which is the sign of different opinions, different point of views. A lot of communication, information. There is a lot of places that we have to go to. And this energy is playing out from the new moon and then the next following 2 weeks, that window of time. This is when what I'm talking about is going to play out. And also, if you want to do a new beginning at a new moon, you know, is best to do it when the moon is in the crescent phase. That means when the moon is at 45 degrees. So yeah, I think that would be, isn't it, 45, 30, 40, I think about 10 degrees of Leos. That's when you can like put your new plan into action. What I'm looking for when the moon is going to be at 10 degrees of Leo. So when is it? Yeah, on the 18, about the 18, 19 of June. So that's a good time to, now you are seeding the seed, this new intention, and then 18, 19 of June is a good time to act on it for the most powerful effect. Because this new beginning is to do with a change that we have to do as to move toward the future. Because Uranus is there in Gemini and Uranus is all about the future. Because Mercury is ruling the South Node in Virgo. And is going toward Jupiter, which Jupiter actually rules the North Node in Pisces. So if we've done too much of the South Node in Virgo, which is over-analyzing, over-worrying, looking for perfection in ourselves or in others, then if that's the case, then now we are encouraged to follow a more spiritual path with Pisces. to trust our intuition, to go towards what inspires us rather than do what we feel we have a duty to do, rather than looking at the facts, rather than being stuck in our mind. Then it's advised to have compassion and follow our spiritual calling, to go toward what inspires you. And for that, because Uranus is squaring the node, it involves, a drastic change of direction. So we might need to be able to forgive others or ourselves in order to do it. And to achieve this new beginning in the way we communicate and who we communicate with and who we exchange our ideas in our daily environment. So this is also about looking at the fact, but integrating it with our intuition. But we have to look at the fact because we have to remember that we are coming back from this full moon that happened 2 weeks ago, which was in Sagittarius. When at that time, when we questioned ourselves about why we believe what we believe. And at that time, an ugly truth came up over the last 2 weeks. And this happened because we believed without checking the facts first. And so now this is the opportunity, this is the time to actually look at the facts and to take the fact into account. To look into the fact is going to require us to do a drastic change because, again, Uranus in Gemini, although it's not conjuncting with this new moon, it's in the same sign, and also it's nearly exactly squaring the nodes, like I just explained. So Uranus is also ruled by Mercury in Cancer. Mercury, again, the ruler of this new moon. So, and with Uranus squaring the node, then this means that something is going to break. And something unexpected is going to happen with Uranus. Because with Uranus, there is no resisting change. So we might as well initiate it rather than being dragged by it. Because on top of Uranus, this is all happening in mutable sign. Because this new moon is in Gemini, a mutable sign, and then with the square to the node, which are in mutable sign. So this is all the mutable sign add an extra, flavor, an extra layer of the need of being flexible, being adaptable, and do so quickly, isn't it? Because with the access of Virgo and Pisces, it can be crisis as well. And when there's a crisis, we have to act quickly, isn't it? We have to adapt and we have to be flexible. And the same with Gemini and Sagittarius, because this is about information. And now with Uranus, isn't it? When we get information, sometimes it can change everything, isn't it? It's like the Joker card in the tarot, isn't it? In the tarot. The Joker card in the poker, or in the tarot, it would be the Tower card. The Tower card in the tarot, the Joker card in the poker. Whatever. What I mean is when you get a flashlight of insight sometimes, and then you're like, and then isn't it, suddenly you just want to change everything. You just want to do something different. You will talk to this person, you won't talk to this person. Do you know what I mean? You just change your situation quickly because now you understand something. Now suddenly you like haha moment. You know something. This type of energy with Uranus and with Gemini and Sagittarius. Like, oh, now I know. Oh, now I understand what this is all about. What I should have done. What they are like. Um, yeah, now I understand what this means. Now I understand what I should be doing. So with Uranus, anything unexpected could happen. And most of the time with Uranus, if we have been resisting change, then we will be ejected from our seats. So it's not always with Uranus that it's going abrupt, that it's going to be shocking out of the blue. It depends on each person. If you're someone that takes ages to change things in your life, then yeah, it can shake you. But if you're someone that embraces change, then you might find this exciting, exhilarating. What I mean? You might like this and you might enjoy this and you might be like, you know what, this is welcome because I couldn't wait to get out of this rut. Thank you, Uranus. Like me, I'm like this because I got love Uranus in my chart. Uranus is oppose my ascendant, square my Mercury, square my Venus, and probably other things. So personally, I like it, but not everyone is like that. If you got love fixed sign, especially if you're a Taurus or, it depends. So not everyone is going to be ejected of their seat, and some of us will like it and some won't. So the advice is that if you're someone that usually resists change or takes a long time to change, then initiate it and see what can I change, because then it will be done for you. And when Uranus, like Pluto, when this planet do things for you, it's not really nice. You might as well surrender and just start doing it yourself in your own way. Yeah, because remember, there is no time to waste at delaying change. There is not enough time in our lifetime on this planet. Same thing for all of us. And when people get to 40 years old plus, they are left to live with grief and regrets. And some of us have more wisdom later in life than that we had in our 20s and in our 30s. But nonetheless, our time and our energy is running low. We can feel in our gut that something isn't adding up in this world. Something is not right. How come it's only when you get to your 40s that finally you understand certain things, isn't it? Then you have some wisdom and then you look back on your life and you say, oh, what was I thinking? What should have done something different. I wish I didn't do this. I wish I did that. Now you're in your 40s. Most people, better than you did previously. But then how come that, how is it possible that a wise and loving goddess would have created a hell prison planet like this? So when you think about it, it cannot be right. Something is wrong. Something is not sticking. Because now you understand, now you have the wisdom, now you have the answers. Now you suffered enough. You went through enough experiences. Now you know what's the right thing to do. It could be anything in your relationship, for your health, for some addictions, for your professional life, isn't it? Like realistically, they ask us to know what we want to do in our life when we are 15, when we are 16. I don't know where you're from, but me, I'm from France. And when I was 14, when we are 14, already they ask us what we want to do in our life. And then the choice of college that you will take, it will seal, isn't it, a lot of your future already. Uh, yeah, so that's what I'm thinking, isn't it? A lot of people probably think in their gut something doesn't make sense because how a loving God in the universe would plan to put us through this, that halfway through your life, then yeah, you have wisdom and you know what to do, but then you have less energy, to be honest, isn't it? Unless we are going to become robot and start having some plastic and take, I don't know, some implants, like when you see those celebrities, when I'm seeing it on Instagram, you see like Cher, I think I might be wrong, but I think she's 79, isn't it? And I'm like, oh my God, what is she taking? Going clubbing and stuff, so yeah, most of us, you get to your mid 40s and 50s, and then yeah, there's not much time realistically. Then you get to 65, 70, I mean, let's hope for the best. But surely now you know what to do, but you just don't have time. Now you're tired, and then you have all these extra things that hold you back. Yeah, and yeah. So why I'm saying this is because Gemini is about, gathering information and asking question, to keep searching, especially in this last 5 degrees of Gemini. There is a theme that is about you have to always keep searching. You have to always keep like a first, like a need to always search for the next information and the next information and the next information. Like there's always something more to know, and that's what this is where what life is for. When you think life goes quickly, then isn't the point of life that we have to keep searching about why life is how life is, isn't it? And if life is like this, then how can we, what is the information we need to find so that in the next life, for those like me who believe in reincarnation, because I believe in reincarnation. So from my research, like from my instinct, that's what I believe in. So yeah, so that we keep searching with Gemini, we keep asking questions, we keep gathering data. And now with this Uranus square the knot, isn't it? Surely all of us, we have received some information. We have had at least a realization. Everyone is at different levels and everyone has different kinds of experiences. But some information that you were seeking might just have come your way, and now it might take you more towards a bigger meaning of your life. You're like, I'm going to search for it. What does it mean? Let me look at the fact, because we already decided previously in Sagittarius, that because we have believed without thinking of why we believed, we just blindly believed, and then we had a bad surprise, isn't it? We discovered something shady. So, and now we have this information about, and this information hopefully is going to take us into the right directions. It put us onto the right path, trying to also, find a more spiritual destination to aim our life towards too. Because the question in Gemini is how can we make sure that our next life won't be as burdened as this one? So I hope that you find the right information and that you keep searching and that you find it. And yeah, I will do another video because I didn't want this video to be too long. But now our mind and our actions are in harmony. So there is an opportunity to act on what makes us feel emotionally secure and to communicate it about and to plan what we are going to do, what we value, what makes us what we think is making us feel secure in our private life, in our home life. And this can be with Mars in Taurus. This can be about also security, about financial security, about what we value. So acting to gain, some security, financial security, and emotional security. So there is an opportunity at this new moon to act and to make this happen with a sextile. This is just a little effort that we have to make. So thank you for watching, and I'll be back another time with another video. Take care and bye for now.